But yeah, we play great. Obviously, fun win.
You go 1-on-3 there at the end. Are you just trying to get that puck deep, or what's kind of going through your mind there?
No, I'm trying to score. That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, they were out there for a bit, and I'm happy he thought I was going wide. I thought he had me. Honestly, when I cut middle, I thought he was just going to hit me, but managed to trickle in somehow. Wasn't a great shot, but we were due for an ugly one to finally go in for sure.
Is that one a little bit extra sweet because you guys really controlled that game? Dostal played really strong on the other side. Is it, being able to push through that, just add to it a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's just 50 to 20 shots, tie game. It's just, it's the way it's going, obviously. I think we've honestly played 4 of 5 solid games, and, we got to treat Sunday like, we're down 2-0 because we got a lot of ground to make up, so obviously it's one win. It's not like we're going crazy here. We're a cup favorite, so, but still, it's still a fun one to get.
Nathan MacKinnon keeping it real after the Avalanche finally get off the schneid, their first victory in overtime one in front of the home crowd before they take off for San Jose in the West Coast. As we welcome you to Between the Pipes here on Altitude Sports Radio. We are live on Twitch, on Twitter, on YouTube, and right here on StreamYard as well. Alex Ryanemi alongside Mark Springer, Between the Pipes, presented by Safeway. You guys can join us all evening long in the comments. Make sure you guys get in there. Let us know what you thought about tonight's game. It was a dominant effort, Spring, and MacKinnon right there, as you saw in the post game video. Thanks to Darren McKee, our very own, for getting that for us. A couple of questions from Guerrilla Sports and Jesse Montano about what his mindset was on that play. But I thought the mindset comment that he made in terms of after the game was, hey, listen, we were a Stanley Cup favorite. And just because we've got $34 million of players out of the lineup, it's hurt us, but we have a lot of ground to catch up on. Spring, that overtime was, it's fitting that Nathan MacKinnon is the one to end it. That overtime was one of the best 3-on-3 overtimes I've watched since the World Cup of Hockey and Team North America versus Sweden.
Oh, just chance after chance for Colorado, and none tastier than the Mikko Rantanen wraparound and Lukas Dostal. Am I getting my shish right with the S's? For the Czech Republic, the young Czech. I don't even think it's Czech Republic.
Get it
anymore.
right. It's Czechia.
Yeah.
You ignorant little. It's Czechia.
I'll do that. I'm ignorant sometimes. Yeah, but what a save with the toe of the skate. I thought Mikko Rantanen was scoring there for sure. I mean, he was very quick on that wraparound. That was the theme. Like, how is this not going in? How have the Avs not already won this game? Logan O'Connor gets a good breakaway look. He has scored on so many of those little mini breakouts where he gets fed into the offensive zone, and it's just a quick little one-on-one. OC scores shorthanded in those situations a lot. Dostal gets a stick on it. Colton gets a look on the left side. Sam Girard gets in deep, and he hits the crossbar. And then finally, Nathan MacKinnon. I mean, it was just too much. At a certain point, if you're Dostal, you just break. And just the presence of Nathan MacKinnon probably pushes you back a little bit and makes you a little leakier. I mean, that's as well-deserved a win. I mean, the deserved-to-win-o-meter on that game, Raj, had to be 99-1. If it wasn't, then the analytics are wrong. They outshot the Ducks 49-20 in this game. They outshot them by 29, and number 29, the reigning Hart Trophy winner, wins the game.
If you're looking for the deserve to win-o-meter on moneypuck.com, it currently reads Avalanche 89% and Anaheim 11%. And that's the way that the game played out. Listen, outside of 2 egregiously missed blown whistles, the Avs dominated the hockey team against a bad hockey club, and it was still very, very close, right? I was saying during the game tonight, Spring, that like when the Avs come back and win this thing, and I felt very confident going into the game. I felt confident down 1-0. I felt confident down 2-0. When they win this game, there is no such thing when you're missing $34 million of players as a meritless win. especially when you start 0-4, knowing how big of a hole that you're in to start the year and knowing how hot some of the other teams in the Central Division, Dallas and Winnipeg, have been to start the year. The one saving grace is that you have like Nashville, who can't buy a victory either. Your top players were amazing tonight, Spring. Makar looked all world. Nathan MacKinnon wasn't going to get beat. But for me, the best player on the ice, Casey Middlestat, was a stud this evening.
Yeah, Casey was very good. I thought Ross Colton was right there in that mix as well. He gets 2 goals tonight. He has been great with that little snapshot in the slot. That is such an underrated, difficult shot. You can make a lot of money in this league if you can bury those. And Ross has a handful of them. He's got 4 on the season. The bumper position goal that put the Avs up 3-2, and it was an even strength goal. It was their best 5-on-5 shift of the year, considering it took extended time after a Nathan MacKinnon face-off win in the offensive zone, coming out of a TV timeout. They held the puck in that zone for well over 30 seconds. Mikko Rantanen had to dive to keep a puck alive down along the end boards. He's the one who ultimately fed. Mikko was kind of off balance on his primary assist pass behind the net to Ross Colton. And then a great finish from Ross. I mean, it was posting in and so quick on the release. But that shift and the desperation from Mikko, I mean, they needed it. You're diving on the ice to make every possible play you can to win this game. That a 5-on-5 shift, and it was the top guys, as it probably should have been, coming up with that big of a shift. And yeah, Ross Colton, man, he played a career high tonight. Like, I'll let you talk about Casey Middlestat, but I loved Ross Colton tonight. He's their de facto 4th best forward right now. We ranked the forwards on the last show because we were down so bad. We just ranked forwards. Ross Colton's firmly at number 4. He has 4 goals on the season. He played a career high time on ice tonight. And as he should. I like seeing him get just under 22 minutes. It's a career high, 21:54 played for Ross, 5 shots on goal. He only took 4 faceoffs, but he can bring that element as well. Casey, I'm looking at the faceoffs. Casey was great. 12 faceoff wins on 19 draws. But for me, I love Ross Colton tonight. Casey Middlestat, he played like the 3rd best forward on this team tonight, as he should play like.
Yeah, Ross Colton and Casey Middlestat tonight, for me, again, I thought were the 2 guys that made massive differences this evening. Obviously, the 2 third-period goals from Colton. He was a guy who's been buzzing earlier on this year. When they were pressing hard in the first 2 games, Colton hits 2 crossbars early on there, Spring, and I think that's something that can't be underlooked. I don't think you're off the mark whatsoever in saying that if he was your best non-star player, right? So if we're choosing guys that are not named MacKinnon or Makar, I think it's a very, very real thing for you to look at a guy like Ross Colton scoring those 2 low slot goals as we're watching the one to put the Avs up 3-2 here. Under 10 minutes to go, the one that you said under the goal line pass. Elevating him to a top 6 role out of necessity seems like you've gotten the most out of his game. I don't know if that's signs of things to come, because when the Avs get healthy, they are they're going to be so deep if they stay healthy. Like, Colton might not be able to stay in the lineup that high, but if you're going to stay relevant and you're going to stay within shouting distance of Dallas and Winnipeg at this point with all of the injuries that you have, a guy like Ross Colton has to be rock solid. He was rock solid. Casey Middlestat's hands they're ridiculous. The little hand twitch, forehand, backhand underneath the 6-hole on Dostal to make it 2-1. The pass to Colton on the first goal, as the power play switched from a 4-on-3 into a 5-on-3 for the Avs at the start of the 3rd period, was a thing of beauty. Like, the bumper position is tough to play as a shooter and tough to play as an actual bumper, but that little 6-foot pass, when you have a triangle, when you've got a stick in between you and that player, like Middlestat did, it's not an easy pass to make and put right on the money. So while we always talk about the bumper being where the power play, like outside of the top, if you're talking about a box plus one or an umbrella, talking about the top of the power play, the quarterback McCarr, the next place that it runs through is the bumper, but you still got to get that puck there. And to make that little 6-foot pass when there's a body in front of you it's not easy in this league. And I thought Middlestat did it to an absolute T, an absolute T. And they needed this thing, man. You could feel it. You could hear it in the arena. How on edge the crowd was because of the 0-4 start. And if you come back from the San Jose trip, right? Like, again, San Jose is a super, super winnable game. They got the doors blown off of them by Winnipeg this evening. You should be 2-4 by the time that Sunday evening rolls around. If you can come back from this 3-game road trip with another 2 wins, I think you look at that little 3-game set against Ottawa, Chicago, and Tampa Bay as a chance that you can get back to 500. It's very feasible. If you play like this, you can do it. And like the referees tried to steal it from them.
Dude, yeah, this game shouldn't have even gone to overtime because that Ryan Strome goal at the end of the first period comes after the Ducks on a little zone entry dump in. It goes high. Whoever shot that in near the blue line sails it into the lower portion of the protective netting above the glass. And Sam Girard is behind net and he sees it. He points to it. Hey, that hit the net. And what's funny is that the ref down low appears to have eyes right on it. Based on the camera angles, you can see his eyes are right on it. And not only that, he points to it. He appears to point to it and acknowledge it, but doesn't blow his whistle. And, okay, you can get on Sam Girard if you want for this little pass right here. Or actually, it's going to come after this. All right, we got this on the video here. There's the puck up. Sam Girard, hand up. That hit the net.
Everybody stops.
Look at the ref point down there. He says, "Yeah, I see it." And then and so you can get mad at Girard for that little pass right there. It's a lazy, just dump into the neutral zone. There's not an ab body there. But this to me is not on Sam Girard. I mean, that is such an obvious call, whistle to blow. Sam is, I'm sure, dumbfounded. He's assuming the whistle's blowing, right? The whistle's blowing. He's thinking the play is dead. He's got to be thinking this play needs to be dead in my mind. Like, what do we do? Should I even keep playing? I don't want to put anyone in danger. Did I miss a whistle? Did I not hear anything? This is just pure incompetence on the officials. I don't know what synapses in the brain didn't lead from, hey, yeah, Sam, you're right, I see it hit the net, to not blowing the whistle.
Yeah, it was odd to me. And even when Girard makes that play to chip the puck off the wall, he looks at the referee going like, okay, are we going to blow it? Like, are we ready to blow it now? Like, now that the puck's in the neutral zone, everyone looks to these referees waiting for a whistle to blow. Even the Ducks players were ready to, like, everyone stopped playing hockey. Everybody. You know what it screamed to me is, it screamed to me it was like a men's league play where a puck hits the netting and comes back into play, and you just hear a bunch of dudes who have had 7 beers and it's 10:45 at night. You just hear the guys going, play it, we're all right, play it. Like that's what happened. And it was baffling to me that was the play that put them down 2-0 in a really vital part of the game, right? Under a minute to go, first period, already down 1-0. And the first goal that happened was also a whistle that should have been blown.
Okay, I'm seeing some in the chat, still say, "Oh, Sam Girard, you got to play till the whistle." There is a ladder of incompetence here, okay? And the only rung that matters in this equation is he who is highest on the rung, he who is the most incompetent. That's where the buck stops. And that is with this official, okay? That is the bar of incompetence here. Anything else done after that to me is irrelevant. That is so incompetent to not blow the whistle in that spot that I take Sam Girard completely off the hook. This should squarely be placed. And I don't do this often, but that is such a bad missed call.
Yeah,
that is unforgivable. Like, it's such a bad call. That's something that's suspension worthy. You cannot have that. Period. You cannot miss that call. You may as well get anyone to be a referee if you cannot make that call. That's embarrassing. Plain and simple.
I felt the same way about this first goal that we're watching right now too, right? Just under the 14-minute mark. Anaheim gets 3, 4, 5, 6 whacks at it when, sure, did Georgiev originally cover the puck up on his left pad? No. But his defenseman does try and freeze the puck against his pad, which is always called dead in this league. I guess like Georgie tries to spin around and then he opens up his legs. Now the puck squirts out. But when we get this overhead view, in about 1 or 2 seconds right here, you see Josh Manson come in here at the end and try and cover the puck against Georgiev's pad. And when that thing doesn't get frozen, it baffles me that they didn't blow a whistle. Just the same way that when the puck hits the netting and everyone stops playing, like this puck has been frozen. It gets frozen 99 times out of 100 in this league, especially with the referee right on top of the puck. You can actively watch him searching for the puck there. And when they lose sight of the puck, NHL referees, and actually all referees from the international level on up, are taught to blow the whistle. When you lose sight of the puck, you blow the whistle. And you can watch the referee right here after try 1, try 2, try 3. He's going to come into the screen. He's now looking for it. Number 34, looking for it. Can't see it. And then it goes in. He finally he reestablishes vision of the puck when it crosses the line. And that's where, for me, as a league, I would look at this refereeing group and go, hey, gentlemen, I know it's early and you're very good at your job. And these guys are. These referees are so good. And I know it's easy to hate on these guys. But that would be a teaching point for me as a league official.
I mean, like you said, we see pucks frozen for way less in this league. I see it all the time where they'll blow a whistle quicker than later. And then a split second after they blow the whistle, the puck will get loose and we'll realize, oh, the puck was never actually covered. But they blow that thing dead all the time. You see Manson put his blade around the puck next to Georgiev's pad. I've seen that play called dead. I don't know what the exact rules are, but I know that they call these pucks dead all the time. There was a healthy 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi of no view given by that official. But that official will tell you, look, he's right behind the net. He'll tell you he had eyes on it the entire time. I'm not sure he did. A gold star to you, though, for not giving up on the play. I do have less of an issue with that one than I do with the clearance into the net. To me, the clearance into the net is day one, rookie camp, unforgivable. I mean, just an absolute Bush League error, Little League error. Terrible.
Spring, let's hear from the head coach.
To how hard you guys actually had to work to get this win, about the character and maybe what can do for the group here.
Yeah, like before the game we talked, we loved their second half against Boston. And especially the last 6-7 minutes of the second, the third period. And, it's hard to do, but our goal was to try and come out and play that way, to that identity. Because for the guys that hadn't been here, like, that is the identity of our team. Like, so try and sustain it for as long and as hard as we possibly can. And it did not come easy. I thought their team blocked a lot of shots. They got shooting lanes. They kind of pack it in front of the net a little bit, and their goalie made some huge saves, right? And so we had to work for it. Even at the end, you finally take the lead, and the guys are laying out desperation, great commitment to try and keep the puck out of our net, and they get another one to tie it. But kept playing, had a good overtime, had some good chances. So you got to be happy with not only the effort and the determination that they played with, but to be able to sustain it as long as they did, and to just stick with it regardless of the score. They that's a great effort, and sometimes you lose games like that, but it's I'm proud of them for sticking with it and getting that first one, and hopefully if we keep working like that, maybe some wins will come a little bit easier.
Those are the words of head coach Jared Bednar after the Avs get their first win in overtime victory thanks to Nathan MacKinnon at home against the Anaheim Ducks. Between the Pipes, presented by Safeway, with Alex Ryanemi and Mark Springer. You guys can join us on Twitch, on Twitter, on YouTube. If you guys want to still text us on the Shop Mazda text line at 303-504-0925, please be my guest. One price, one person, in 1 hour on the Shop Mazda text line. We will we'll open that up for you guys as well. I know a lot of you are looking for us on 92.5. Again, I think I'll make this announcement for the first handful of games of the season. We are going to be right here on digital, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube for the remainder of the regular season. A couple of big marquee games, we're going to go live on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5, and then every playoff game will be on the radio as well. But you guys can join in the comments on all of those other platforms. Spring, I think you hit it on the head. The team played the right way tonight. Again, outside of those 2 goals that go in, the only one that Anaheim truly worked for and deserved was the Troy Terry goal at the end. The Avs kill off a 2-minute penalty. That was a 6-on-4 the entire time. They blocked 6 shots, and then honestly, there's a handful of guys on the Ducks that are super impressive. One is Leo Carlson, and that guy is what a delight of a hockey player to watch. And the other one is Colorado native, DU pioneer Troy Terry, and he ties it up.
Carlson had a little walk in the middle of the ice in overtime, and that I thought was their best chance. That made me squeeze a little bit. I was like, oof, that was scary. Yeah, he's going to be a dude for 19 years old.
He is what a skater.
He's big. He's a big frame. Yeah, he reminds me of a young Mikko Rantanen a little bit. I thought Mikko had his best get up tonight, especially in the back half of that game. I thought Mikko was great tonight. That's a more advanced version of Leo Carlson right there. Jared Bednar just talked about it. We spent so much time to start the show on the overtime itself. I mean, it looked like they were going to win this game in regulation. They eat a couple of penalties late in this game that I thought were hard luck. The Miles Wood slash on Brian Dumoulin. He's just trying to tip a puck net front, and accidentally, as he's going for that shot that's heading right towards him and his blade, he goes to tip it, and then slashes the stick out of Dumoulin's hands. It's just bad luck to me. That's just pure bad luck. The Cale Makar trip against Troy Terry, after the Avs were working so hard to kill that power play that they were killing, the Wood slash, and just as that ends, Makar, after working so hard, just barely trips up Terry. I thought Makar had a massive bounce back game overall from his last 2. Speaking of bad luck, I mean, real quick, I'll get back to the end, but early in this game, you tweeted the video, Raj. Makar had a move where, and that's just the way it's when you talk about luck. I mean, there's just been a lot of bad luck. That's a great play early by Makar that hits the post or crossbar, the hard luck penalties late, the puck in the netting not called. I mean, these are just pure luck things. You outshoot them 49-20. This is a luck game. This should have been larger than a 1-goal win. There's a lot of a snake-bitten element going on here. But then late, when they are, at even strength, and the Ducks do have an extra skater, Miles Wood is blocking a shot. Makar is diving, they were doing everything right in front of Alexander Georgiev to keep a goal out and to win this in regulation. Yet, of course, after a flurry of blocks from the Avs, the Ducks were able to score. This is just a snake-bitten game, but the Avs overcame it, and they deserved it. They needed it. Sometimes the well just brims up too high, and the Avs, like, it overflowed for them tonight. They just needed a win.
Let's head on out to Ball Arena. Darren McKee is standing by. What is happening behind you? Hockey's supposed to be over, D-Mac. D-Mac, you got us, buddy? Can you hear me? Going one?
All right, I don't know if you guys, I just can't hear or see you.
I can hear and see you.
But I'm here. So this happened to me last time too, but I'm happy to chat up about what's going on if you want me to. So I'll just keep going. And if you don't want me to talk, I'll just talk about what's going on here. Hopefully you guys click in. But what you see behind me is an all goalie hockey game. This is happening right now. It's just nothing but goalies. Why? I have no idea.
It's because the Avalanche are
But
trying to
nice
get a
night for
bunch
the
of
Avs
goalies.
to win. They have a new tradition, the big hat. I'm sure you've talked about it. Nathan MacKinnon got the big hat. Nothing better than somebody who's so serious all the time, wearing the biggest, goofiest hat of all time. Ross Colton with a great game. Just a relief. I don't know how else to put it, man. And to give away the lead with 12 seconds to go just absolutely sucked. And then they get the win in overtime, and everybody's happy. And we're wearing big, goofy hats. And there's like 50 goalies on the ice right now playing in some men's league hockey game. And I feel bad that I can't see you and hear you guys right now. So I guess I'll just kind of wrap it up. But the vibes in the locker room were terrific. Bednar just sigh. Oh, there. Hey, I got Spring. You're clicking in. Talk, Spring. See if I can hear you.
Yeah. D-Mac, do you have me synced up in real time?
I got Spring. I don't got Raj.
I don't
Maybe
understand
that's just
how
well.
this internet is
So I'm
working.
here for any questions from you, Spring. I can't quite see Raj. So I'll let you know when I can see Raj. Maybe it's just my stupid phone. But you see what's going on with the all goalie hockey game behind me?
Yeah, it's a great concept. I've never envisioned such a thing, but I see it and I love it. D-Mac, do you think you could throw the goal? How would you fare in goalie pads in that game out there?
That'd be terrible. I'd be awful. I would suck. I can skate. Not like Raj, who's a real hockey player. I can skate, but I couldn't do any of that. No, it'd be ridiculous.
Hey, D-Mac, you mentioned the big hat. Nathan MacKinnon wearing that big, oversized novelty hat that we've seen become somewhat niche and popular in sports over the past few years. I saw on Twitter that this was Gabe Landeskog's idea, that he brought the hat. And on that note, with Landeskog, I mean, that means he was here tonight. You've been at these home games. Landeskog's been at every home game, right? He's there. He's in the locker room. He's around everyone.
By the time we get in the locker room, I haven't seen him, but that doesn't mean he's not there. It's just, post-game stuff. But it was Gabe's idea, okay? So if we want to get in this world of what's Gabe's contribution, what's he doing, well, this is Gabe. This is a Gabe idea. Does he seem to like it? Nate, of course, is so dry. So it's pretty funny seeing him wear this big, goofy hat. But he had a decent sense of humor about it. But there you go. There's a fun captain contribution, right, Spring? There you go. So good for Gabe.
That's a captain right there. Last thing for you, D-Mac. They're in San Jose this weekend. If they win that game, they're 2-4. You feeling a little better about things?
Yeah, man. This is such a monkey off their back, Spring. My God. And, they Bednar said a lot of times when you outplay your opponent like they did, a lot of times, as Cale McCarr talks about the hockey gods, you lose games like this, right? Like it's just not your night. They should have won this game by 4 or 5 goals. So I do think it's a big deal. And Bednar talked about how the momentum starting in the back half of the Bruins game continued to tonight. They needed this one. It meant a lot. It's a big deal. Not a little deal. It's a big deal. And they almost gave it away. I mean, they would have got a point, but it would have felt really deflating to not get to and get the win. Instead, you know, Nate, thank God for Nate, right? And again, look how they got screwed over tonight. That puck was tied up. The puck was in the net right above me, actually, and that wasn't blown dead. However, Bednar said, hey, we got to play it. What is going on here? Seriously, we're going ape shit here. It is insanity here.
It is bonkers.
So anyways, they said that you got to overcome those bad things that happen. You got to play through the whistle. You can't just stop. It was a little wacky by the refs. The refs admit they made a mistake, but you got to play through with it. And other than that, you know, he was pretty happy with the performance. I don't know why I can't see Raj. Who knows? Technology isn't our best friend. But I'll just let you go, and you guys can chit-chat about the rest of it. And I'll just watch a bunch of goalies.
D-Mac, go get the goalie pads and jump in. Hey, that was a great hit from D-Mac right there.
Yeah, the Avs are trying out a bunch of goaltenders. They're seeing if they can play, you know, all sorts of positions, considering no one can stay healthy.
Is that what that is?
Is
that a massive goalie tryout?
I wish it was, man. Can you imagine? See, we're just doing the Wayne Krebet thing with the Philadelphia Eagles. Just like, everyone and your mother, come on out. Maybe we'll find a plumber that can stop a puck.
Freaking the next Vince Papali is gonna suit up in net.
Papali, not Wayne Krebet. Wayne Krebet was a good wide receiver.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I actually, it was the movie Invincible, the Disney movie. Raj, when I saw that in high school, me and my friend saw that movie in high school, and we wanted to go play pickup football with our cars in a park field, with the car lights on, lighting the field just like they did in that movie. Great movie.
Yeah,
from the mid-2000s.
Great movie. Great hockey game tonight from both of these clubs. Overtime was an absolute delight, Spring, to watch. I was blown away by the speed, by the nonstop scoring opportunities that we saw in overtime this game. The fact that thing ended as late as it did, with all of the grade A scoring chances, Sam Girard ripping a bar, Logan O'Connor getting robbed, Mikko Rantanen somehow not scoring on the wraparound. Write me a letter, Mikko. It was overtime was sensational.
It was. This team's just too talented. They're too talented to be where they are. We were gonna, and first of all, I couldn't do another lost show. I mean, could you imagine this show as an L show? I couldn't do a fifth straight. It would have taken all my soul to do another one of those shows. And a part of it would have been okay, let's say they fell to 0-5 tonight, or even 0-4-1, still would have felt like a little bit of a kick in the gut, considering that they massively deserved to win this game. We were going to do a joke bit or I was going to ask you jokingly after the Boston game, after falling to 0-4, hey man, how's that 2025 NHL draft class looking? And I forgot to bring it up. I forgot to do that stupid bit. Is there a next Connor Bedard in that draft? Because the Avs are 0-4 and it feels like they're out of their way. But the truth of it is, when you look up, when you stack up, when you look at the weaker teams in the league, none of them have talents comparable to MacKinnon, Rantanen, Makar. And then with everybody who's coming back, even if they fell to 0-4-1 or 0-5 tonight, it was very much so in the cards, and it obviously still is. Helps to get a win. You're now 1-3 or 1-4. That this team, when healthy, is going to be a juggernaut still. Yes. It is. And it has just been an anomaly of bad snowballing events that have led to this start to the season. They were going to have a 4-game losing streak or something like that mixed in the first month or two of the season. Yeah, they've done this in the past couple regular seasons. It was just odd to see it from the start. Had they started, 2-1, you swallow a 4-game losing streak. You can swallow a 4-game losing streak under these circumstances. It was to start the season, I think it was the 0-4 that was throwing everyone for a loop.
Right. And I think I said it matters when you underperform, when you have to take into account people's expectations. And they underperformed at the beginning of the year, and then they continued to get injured and stuff like that. And I think that the panic of the goaltending situation was not something that you wanted the fan base to have to deal with at the beginning of the year. Georgiev was good enough tonight. Georgiev was fine. Honestly, outside the Troy Terry goal, it should have been 0 goals against, right? Like the Troy Terry goal is a great shot through a screen after 2.5 minutes of really, really hard defending for the Abs. But he kept it to 2 for a while, right? And then just the flurry at the end, things happen. I don't think that the Avs stopped. I saw a comment from one of our users a couple of seconds ago who was talking about how the Avs like need to play out the string at the end of the games, right? And I thought it couldn't have been far enough away from the case this evening. They played it out. Like they laid it all on the line to try and get this thing done. It was Doc Holliday. I'll bring it up right now. Last minute give up again and again. They need to play to the horn and finish without giving up those late period goals. The third period was not that. Like the penalty kill was great. The penalty kill was exactly what it needed to be. You just got stop after stop after stop after stop or block shot. And eventually when you're 6-on-4, unless the puck gets frozen at some point, chances are one of those grade A chances is going to go in. I didn't have an issue with how they defended it whatsoever.
And back to the goaltending, I saw Kamara in the chat bring up, did he bring up Kakkonen? I wanted to bring up Kaapo Kakkonen because, hey, we got a goalie game going on at Ball Arena. It may or may not be goalie tryouts. That would be, a single tear would roll down the cheek of Alexander Georgiev if he walked past the rink and saw goalie tryouts going on in front of his face. That would be a little disrespectful. But it appears that Kaapo Kakkonen is going to be in the States tomorrow. It's finally arrived. Now,
could he play against his former team, the San Jose Sharks, on Sunday?
He played with the San Jose Sharks for the better part of last season before getting traded to the Devils at the deadline. They've gone back to, I mean, look, when Onanen has come in those couple relief roles, he didn't do much better, or I think he would have gotten a start. I think they've just kind of gone back to Georgiev by default. And I get it, and it was his best game tonight. It wasn't amazing, but it was his best game. I didn't even think that Kakkonen is a former Shark, but he's available now. Like, this does change a couple things. I think it's a matter of time before we see him in net.
Yeah, I think he starts a game within the next 2 weeks. I do. This was a move to address the lack of active goaltending depth that they have in the organization. The best piece of goaltending depth, and maybe the best piece of goaltending straight up when it looks into the future, is unfortunately playing in Russia right now, and his contract doesn't end until May of 2025. So he's not coming over anytime soon. The issue was, well, if we lose confidence in Georgie, or if he is injured, or if we realize that Justus Onanen isn't the goaltender of the future, or isn't even the backup of the future for the Avs, we need to figure out someone who's going to be that guy right now. Kaapo Kakkonen has shown himself as a legit backup in this league with his time in Minnesota. And when he went from an awful team where his numbers were horrendous last year with San Jose, and he played 7 games with the New Jersey Devils, his 7 games with the Devils were damn good. 2.51 goals against average and a save percentage hovering in the near the 920s. You get that out of a backup goaltender, that's like Pavel Francouz in the 2022 Stanley Cup Championship run. Like, you get those numbers, you win a lot of hockey games.
And then another thing I want to circle back and touch on, the big hat, the new prop. Like in baseball, they got props when you hit home runs. I remember the Blue Jays had like a jacket, like a suit jacket. Your Mets are posing with the OMG sign.
You better believe we're
dugout.
posing with the OMG sign. You better believe it, Spring. We're posing with the OMG sign. There it is. Nathan MacKinnon with the big hat.
But it reminded me when I saw this Not too long ago, the Atlanta Braves in Major League Baseball, they used the big hat, a big Braves hat, as their home run thing. But Major League Baseball had a, New Era is the official cap of Major League Baseball, and New Era stepped in and said, that's not a New Era hat. You can't use that.
Is
So
that
I hope.
really classified as a hat? Like give your balls a tug, New Era. Come on.
But look, I don't think New Era is has a hat partnership. Maybe Fanatics is now making the jerseys for NHL teams. Hopefully, Fanatics doesn't step in.
How much do you think Nate hates that thing? Just hates it.
That makes me like it even more. How much Nate might hate it. Because you're right, Nate is so serious, and that is such an unserious hat. But that dichotomy,
the most serious thing I've ever seen.
I do love it though.
I do like the post game MVP trophy has been people have done it for years. Like it's not a new thing, but just the fact that we've got cameras and phones everywhere nowadays, you're now seeing what everyone has, right? The famed one from, I don't know, it probably started like 15 years ago, maybe 10 years ago with the New York Rangers was the Broadway fedora that they all wore after a Rangers win. A lot of teams do like a fireman's hat or something like that. Teams that I played for would do like a pair of like toe-steeled work shoes, like work boots. You walk out in the work boots because you were the hardworking player of the game or something like that. There's some raunchy ones like. You remember back in the late 20s when Jason Giambi was a
I was just going to bring this up.
Yeah, the golden thong. I've seen teams do something golden thong-ish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the hat will suffice over a golden thong.
You think Nate would rather have a golden thong or a big hat?
Definitely a big hat, for sure. I mean, you don't. It could be intimidating seeing an Avs player in a golden thong, dude. I've been in that locker room after a game, and like Valeri Nichushkin is just in his underwear, and I'm just like, damn, dude, that's a unit. I don't necessarily need to see him in a golden thong. He's jacked.
What are you talking? Dude, where are your eyes going, bud?
Not that unit. He's a unit. Dude, he was in great shape. I mean, tremendous.
Oh goodness, Spring. Yeah. Listen, this is a good win. I'm not gonna say they beat a Stanley Cup championship contender this year. They didn't. They beat a bad hockey club that's going to be picking certainly in the top 5 of the draft this year. That is building the right things under Greg Cronin and Pat Verbeek. They're building the right things, but they're not going to be a good team this year. Leo Carlsson is an amazing player. San Jose is the same team, man. They just got the wheels beaten off of them by the Winnipeg Jets tonight. This is where you can get points. You can really find a way to get points this evening. Not a lot of games on the schedule, Spring. Last thoughts before we go into the NHL scoreboard.
Yeah, it was a must-win game. The Avs were big favorites. It needed to be done. You couldn't just. Could you really make a living on getting plus money against the Colorado Avalanche, against the reigning Hart Trophy champion, and Rantanen and McCarty, and make a living 5 straight games, getting underdog lines against the Avs, and for the Ducks to be team number 5? You can't allow it. You just can't allow it. You got to put your foot down at some point. They did tonight. They got the win. And look, I expect them to win in San Jose this weekend.
They should throttle San Jose.
They absolutely should.
$1 million out. That you should throttle the San Jose Sharks.
Get that win. That's my expectation. It won't be a panic game, but it will be a what the hell game if they lose to San Jose. Barring things that are out of your control, injuries and such. Get your second win, improve to 2-4, and yeah, you don't even have to get to 500 in the next coming weeks. You just need to stay in that ballpark. I expect they probably will get there sooner than later. It might take a little longer than you'd otherwise expect. And We're just in patience mode. We really are. It's an odd feeling. We are in the mode of waiting, and it seems like there's some people who are going to be pessimistic and they're going to say, no, it's not going to change down the season. This team, no, it will. It is. We have seen like Arturi Lehkonen, Valeri Nichushkin, and Gabe Landeskog are awesome hockey players. There's a reason that we rank players, that players make more money than other players. It is going to feel like a completely different season here in a few months. And we're just in wait mode. We are just in wait mode from now until then.
Spring, 2 other games tonight on the NHL slate. We saw a 4-1 victory for the Carolina Hurricanes, who fell down early in this one, 1-0, but they get 2 power play goals, including this one right here from Martin Necas. Nice little backhand spinorama pass from Evgeny Svechnikov in the bumper position. That's a team, again, I don't know how, or unless that was, I'm not entirely sure who's playing the middle there. That might be, who's the young guy who just signed a new deal for.
Is that Jarvis? Seth Jarvis?
Seth Jarvis, that's the name. I was losing his name there. Seth Jarvis is that little backhand pass there. Marty Necas, that's that's the same shot that Troy Terry scored on today.
Yeah, and this was a by the book game, this Carolina-Pittsburgh game. It was about how it should have gone. A 4-1 road win for the younger, more in their prime team. It checks out 100%. The Sharks the Jets beating the Sharks tonight 8-3 in Winnipeg, a home game for the Jets against still the worst team in the league. Yeah, that checks out. That's exactly what probably a final score, maybe a little more than you'd think, but yeah, that checks out. And then you look at this Avs-Ducks game, 49 shots to 20 shots, yet a 4-3 overtime win. That result, I mean, at the end of the day, the 2 points checks out, but this should have been more like 8-3. It was played like that. This should have been a multi-goal win, just like the other 2 games we saw in the NHL tonight. But for whatever reason, this is how Avalanche games are going. You've got by the book in the first game of the night, you got by the book in the second game of the night, and then you got Avs weirdness in the third game of the night.
Yeah, and you were talking about expected goals tonight. All situations, the Avs were expected to outscore Anaheim 6.5 to about just under 3 this evening. And again, I think you look at those goals that Anaheim scores outside of Troy Terry, 2 of which should have been blown dead by the referees. You mentioned tonight a game that came out as expected was the 8-3 final for the Winnipeg Jets. They got out to a 4-1 lead early on. They score on the 5-on-3 here. When Josh Morrissey is rolling for this team, they are very difficult to beat. The second goal of the game there for Nick Ehlers. They get 2 goals from Ehlers. They get 2 goals from Cole Perfetti as well, who's starting to really come into his own. Obviously, it's early on in this season. Winnipeg, I thought, was going to take a step back this year, Spring. They look good early on, but is this just regular season version of the Jets?
Ultimately, probably. Yes, but they need a kid like Cole Perfetti to step up. I mean, it's exactly what they need if they want to get back to where they were last season. You need to evolve. You need to grow a little bit from within. He's the guy. He's that guy for them. I saw as you started that highlight package, Josh Morrissey just spinning around and scoring one from way out that probably shouldn't have gone past the Sharks goaltender over his shoulder. And it reminds me of some of the goals that have gone in on Georgiev or even Ananen this season. Just these dumb little goals that you might see, happen to a team like the San Jose Sharks. And they've been happening to the Colorado Avalanche as well. 2 teams who really should be on completely different ends of the spectrum. Yet here I see both teams allowing similar brands of goals this season. But it also, it struck me tonight because a couple of the Ducks goals, they're rather dumb, whether it's, not, a puck that appears to be frozen, not called frozen, or a puck into the net, not whistled dead. The Avs, I don't think they've had one lucky goal their way. Like, again, just to the tenor, the luck factor, and hockey is a game of luck sometimes. the luck factor has just gone against Colorado. They haven't scored one goal this season that has been like, damn, the opposing goaltender really screwed that up.
Yeah,
No, they
like
have had to work hard for every goal they've gotten this season, and the other teams are just like, hey, look what I found. Now, some of that has been poor goaltending, but I would like it if the Avs could get some look what I found goals.
I suppose the MacKinnon goal this evening could have been
Okay.
construed as a hey, look what I found goal.
Yeah, after 5 like awesome opportunities that somehow didn't go in, finally the luck went their way. They had 5 grade A opportunities before that in overtime, and of course none of them find a way to go in.
All right, Spring, let's get some bets out for tomorrow, dude. I'm ice cold. I cannot buy a bet the pipes victory to save my life. So I'm going to let you go first. If you like the spread tomorrow, again, bunch of games to look at that start as early as noon. There's a 12 p.m. game between Detroit and Nashville, who's looking for their first victory of the year. They are heavy favorites at home. Edmonton and Dallas are playing tomorrow at 2 p.m. That should be a really, really good hockey game. Dallas looks so good right now, but the Oilers are starting to score goals. They've won 2 straight after starting off 0-3. It's a perfectly spread out Saturday of hockey to go along with your college football slate.
Yeah, and a loaded slate. But man, tricky all over the place. And hey, look, Raj, as far the Avs got to win tonight. You're due. All right. I'm going to keep it simple here. I haven't had as much time as I would have liked to go through this, but I'm going to keep riding the Chicago Blackhawks. I'm going to take the Blackhawks money line plus 110 at home against the Buffalo Sabres. I just had both those teams in my last Bet the Pipes pick. The Blue Jackets plus 1.5 against the Sabres. Blue Jackets won that game. I had the Blackhawks money line against the Sharks parlayed with that. Blue Jackets plus 1.5. The Blackhawks won by 2. So there was an opportunity there to, take the Jackets to win and Blackhawks minus 1.5, but I played it safe. My point is I just saw Buffalo lose in Columbus, and I think that this Blackhawks team is getting undersold a little bit because, there's Connor Bedard, who's still very young and in his second season, and not much around him, but I think there is some sneaky decent talent. Seth Jones on the blue line. I think they're being slept on because of the lack of star power around a Connor Bedard. But I think this Sabres team, despite having some more known talent than, overall than the Blackhawks, when you talk about Tage Thompson and Owen Power, Bowen Byram, Rasmus Dahlin, there's just more dudes that people know. I think that's why Buffalo's getting some love on the line in a game like this, why they are road favorites. I think that Bedard is the best player in this game. Maybe not quite as polished as a Tage Thompson, but talent-wise, he's the best. Let me say he's the best talent in this game. I think at home, I think Bedard is going to sneak on some people. Give me the Blackhawks plus 110.
Love it. I'm going to find a win, and I think the best line of the evening is the Florida Panthers at home at even money. You can find them at even money on a couple of books. I've seen them as low as minus 105, but that's if you're a nickel off even money, it's even money. They're hosting Vegas at home, and Florida's a wagon. That's a team that I don't want to touch. I think they are built perfectly. They are healthy outside of Sasha Barkov, who's battling an injury to start this year, but I love them at minus 105. All right. So give me Florida at minus 105. And I got to hit 2 here. All right. So I'm going to take these as separate legs, not a parlay, but I'll take the over 6.5 goals as the New York Rangers host the Toronto Maple Leafs tomorrow. That pays out at plus 105. Spring, I'm ice cold. I'm 1 for 5 to start the year. I need to get back on it.
What do you think? And you will. I know you will. You've had plenty of good stretches and Bet the Pipes. What do you think the Avs line is Sunday in San Jose? Minus what? Minus 2?
No, I think you're looking in the minus 320s.
3?
Oh, yeah.
That's interesting. Even if it's as low as mine, it's going to be aggressive no matter what for a 1-4 road team. It goes to show the true value of a team like the Avs and how beatable San Jose is. You got to get that win, but yeah, they're going to be big favorites.
I wonder what the lines like. Do we know what the lines were tonight for the Winnipeg game? Because I think it would be very, very similar.
Winnipeg, they were like minus 400, if memory serves me. But that was in Winnipeg. I don't know if the Avs can get quite there, being the road team, but they should be heavy favorites. I don't know about minus 400.
According to ESPN Bet, they were minus 400 this evening. The over-under was set at 5.5. I think they would be close to minus 350 tomorrow. Or sorry, on Sunday. Minus 350 sounds right to me. Dude, San Jose is so bad.
Yeah, you don't see many 1-4 teams minus 350 on the road, but we very well might see that. And Kamara says in the chat, keep it simple. Take the over is hit in all 5 Avs games. The over 6.5 has hit in all 5 Avs games to start this season. Done. I mean, there might just be something there. We'll see how long that train lasts, but it might have some steam in it. It really might.
All right, that's going to do it for us tonight. Between the Pipes, presented by Safeway. You can protect yourself and others with the flu and COVID immunizations from your local Safeway pharmacy. Enjoy 10% off with any immunization. New customers can save up to $75 with any transferred prescriptions. Schedule online or visit us today at Safeway.com. For Mark Springer, for Darren McKee and his potato that he shot on today with his goalie game. I'm Alex Ryan. Thank you guys so much for joining us this evening. Again, for Between the Pipes, a winning version of Between the Pipes. Also, Spring, we learned something tonight. If I actively screen share and stream copyrighted video, which I probably should have known this beforehand, YouTube cuts off the stream right in the middle. And then they'll start playing it on. So I apologize to any of you who are watching on YouTube that got cut off like 40 minutes into the broadcast. I will not do that anymore. I will download clips that we own and have the use to utilize, like stuff from Altitude from here on out. But again, I'm learning things.
Well, yeah, I would have assumed, and you know what assuming does, but Altitude Sports Radio 92.5, we are the Avs station in the NHL umbrella.
We are affiliates.
Maybe we would have rights to that. You might think. I'm just thinking out loud here. I don't know.
I'll go wake up the lawyer who knows nothing about this upstairs. She'll be pissed off, but I'll ask the question. All right, Spring, buddy. Love you, man. And all of you guys who joined in. Kem, Bandit, Blinksy, Care Bear, billion of you guys in the chat. Mikey Hosh, Kevin Wayman, Polymorph, Sapien, Corin was in there as well. Bean, Gerard, Eli, a cast of thousands in the chat. We can't do this without you guys. We wouldn't do it without you, and we thank you for being on along the ride. Next time we'll talk to you guys will be Sunday evening as the Avs take on the San Jose Sharks. You can hear that game on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. You can watch it on Altitude Television with Mark Mosier and Mark Rycroft on the broadcast. But for Spring, I'm Raj. Go to bed, guys. Enjoy your weekend.